Hi, welcome back. I think Spec is actually a little camera shy. Oh, there we go. Say hi. So this afternoon, there's a caregiving fair that I attended. I found two really interesting things. So this, and again, of course, they'll go in the comments. It's specific to certain people that there's resources, like this is all gay and lesbian. And that's fabulous because sometimes you do want to be in a specific community. Of course, all your resources are for everyone, but sometimes understanding something more works better. And there's also in the Portland area, the Cascade AIDS Project, tons of great resources. Again, everything will be in the comments below, so I should be waving my finger to tell you there's a comment below. And then this is really cool. It's, like those picture frames that you may give to someone that you can't be with all the time, but it's also kind of like a tablet and a phone that you can FaceTime with someone, but they don't need to know anything. That you just say, I'm going to call at X time, and they show up on the screen. Again, oh, you want to be on camera? That will be in the comments. So a reminder, as we go on this journey together, this is my truth. It's not anyone else's, and others probably will see things differently. This is just my story. So chapter 3, the mother-in-law and experience. So there's an old Yiddish proverb, not to have pain is not to have been human. It's a toughie. So after nearly dying, my doctor told me a few things. 1, we have no idea how we cured you, so we won't want to lose you. You should never work again. Yay me, but spoiler alert, that didn't happen. Please don't take the public transit to our appointments. In this case, the New York City subway. There's a tuberculosis outbreak right now, and we want you to catch that. Yeah. We just saved you, so don't leave us. So thanks to my great insurance, I was on disability for 5 years. During that time, I earned my master's in theatrical arts. I seriously thought about getting a degree in social work, which is where my interests were. But everyone said if I actually returned to work, the stress of being a social worker would put me right back in the hospital. And unfortunately, I knew that was true. Hats off to all the social workers out there. It is such a demanding job. And as much as I want to help people, I knew that was not in my future. And then number 2 was all my colleagues at the television station told me you cannot escape a union job. You got the benefits and the bread, it's just too good to give up. Hey, guess what? Gave it up too. It took a very, very long time. So finally, my favorite aunt's prayers were answered. I met a terrific man, and right after 9/11, and we got married, and then promised we'd never leave New York City. And guess what? We're not living in New York. We moved cross country 5 years after we met, trying to, live in a less expensive place. When I first met my husband, he was spending about a month each year lending a helping hand to his 80-something-year-old mother. Other family members swooped in for care visits, including her ex-son-in-law. They'd fill her freezer with her favorite dishes and provided some companionship, plus get a little fun in the sun. She lived in Hawaii after all. So during this time, vision issues plagued me, followed by an irregular MRI. The pattern meant the possibility of another immune system disorder, MS. The old friend Denial visited us. It was a good thing because, like a thrilling book, things were about to get amped up. health issues with my spouse, along with his mother, which leads us here to our literary story, The Year of Grieving Dangerously. I wrote this in a class about grief. It's a riff off of Joan Didion's Blue Nights. You know the routine, you listen to the story, then you get what you should learn bit at the end. So here we go. Upper East Side was then, Southeast Portland is now, Manhattan before. Currently, the hipster town turned into arrested development. Hard work, but much pleasure without consequences. The teenage years I never experienced. So what we left, a beautiful tree-lined street leading to the Metropolitan Museum of Art and the rest of the gems along the museum mile. Days lounging in Central Park with the little white dog, the dairy, the reservoir. Don't forget Belvedere Castle. My spiritual home, the Byzantine style, renaissating. I can never say that word. Echoing with chants. How's that? We'll edit as we go. So those memories recede and come in scenes like a favorite movie. Did they happen? Or did you just witness it on the screen? So present time, lolling on the back porch with hummingbirds zipping by us, observing the catvention. Right next door, our feline with others in a circle, looking like they're doing a mind meld. We're watching the dog gnawing her on her toy while the waft of dinner Emma made. I'm having trouble speaking tonight. Can't use fancy words you can't say. So the grill smelled delicious. How we doing there? So my husband saying, look, all your dreams have come true. Soon a unicorn will stroll through the yard. We were laughing hysterically about the comment, thinking, could life get any better than this? My question is, does everything in life need to be a lesson? Why can't we stop, freeze in those good moments? For that day, did we need to pay a pain fee? I'm at a loss over loss. When people permanently exit your life, it can be strange and shocking, but my soul feels so much more over animal loss. I used to say I was raised by wolves, so what I envision as my quirk would be accepted more freely. My good buddy Steve says I'm just like his dad. There could be a huge world tragedy, but we cry just if one little animal died. It's not like I don't feel sad, but I just figure it's what's supposed to happen to people when they're on their journey. It registers inside me, but no tears emerge. The saga of bereavement slowly began soon after we came west from Gotham in 2007. It came in threes. Rosie's father, Steve's dad, and then Alan's friend Chris, gone. 2008, death escaped us, but cancer visited my husband, and then a stroke to his mother. So now we're in June. So mid-year, the hiccup came. It wasn't enough that half of the past 2 years while my husband recovered from cancer was spent, taking care of his mom, away from me. So now we're going to take her in. No nursing home for her. The idea was sprung upon me. I felt like I didn't have any choice. I got the cap and gown, my master's in Portland, got on the plane the next day, knowing I might not see the house we were buying beforehand because no one in the family could help at this point. So while there, my duty was arranged to all the crap for getting ready for the move, the change of address, but yet not quite having one yet. Getting ready to turn off the electric, all that stuff, trying to research, are we going to need different services, different companies? So grad school's ended and I'm back into the workforce. I'm supposed to go. So add job searching to that list. Now I'm yanked back to Portland. We got a house. repacking for the trip east to see my family this time. We're stopping quick enough to move a few things from the rental to the real home. We're in July. Arriving in Philly first, we get a phone call. Steve was in an accident. His girlfriend didn't make it. Forget now that we didn't have a place to stay in Manhattan. The focus went from art museums to hospitals and funeral services. New York City never seemed so cold and lonely in July. Where was Craig? How could we have missed seeing him this time? So then August, September, and October all kind of blended together. We got back to Portland. Hubby goes off to bring his mom to our new house. I'm substitute teaching, unpacking on my own. Then the Facebook update. I lost my beloved. What? Did our classmate's husband really just die? He's not even 40. It can't be. You know, she looks about 30, 3 young kids. Husbands can't just go off and die at this point. You know, how scary. It freaked me out. If it could happen to her, couldn't the same thing happen to me? Sans the kids, of course. The same week, we find out that Craig had died pretty much right around the time we'd been in New York, 2 months ago. I don't know which was sadder, that he was single and distant from his family, so there's no one to call us to tell us, or that we couldn't be there for him. In the end, it was a freak aneurysm, but the detail didn't make anyone feel better. Craig was older than me, but younger than my sweetie. So July was Linda, September, Craig, October, Huey. Mortality wasn't going for the old aunts and uncles. It was hitting my generation. All this is happening. I'm feeling so unsettled. My hubby and mother-in-law still haven't arrived to the new house. What about our fairy tale of first-time homeownership? This is supposed to be our happy time. Unpacking together, choosing the layout of the house. I'm enjoying the beautiful yard with the dog and cat. I'm getting to know the new neighbors, which is pretty great. But where's my partner? The neighbor says to me, "Is your husband ever coming back?" It was meant to be a joke, but I didn't find it amusing. So when are we going to meet your mother-in-law? So the next day, my spouse and I have this conversation. He says, she won't pack. Me, well, you got to pack for her. It's tough. She said, she told me she was happy to come live here with us. Me, transition's hard. You've been considerate enough. Bring her here before winter so she'll know that there's something to look forward to when those dark and rainy days arrive. She needs to see the flowers, the hummingbirds. Winter can be a little bleak here. So meanwhile, Biscuit, our dog who hates canes, she seems to dislike older people too. Is she going to hate our mother-in-law? Oh, that would just be great. Not. So Bezos, the cat, he loves everyone. But, my mother-in-law hasn't lived with pets in years. They certainly didn't get onto the furniture, get into beds like our fur babies did. Finally, the day arrives, the airport pickup. She's coming into the house. We sit her down. So Biscuit jumps right next to her, being protective. Wow. His mom emitted a little, "Oh, she's so cute. How nice." She didn't seem to notice or mind that the dog was on the couch. Yay! And she was gently batting away the dog who's trying to kiss her. In unison, my husband and I let out sighs of relief. Okay, so we now in November. Time is flying. So all of us were so innocent, trusting it would work out. The first couple weeks went well. I'm not sure of the exact date that things went south. My husband, "Let's go for a walk to get you out of the house." He says this to his mom. Mom is, "No." "Come out to the deck that we had built for you. Isn't this great? You can enjoy the plants all year round, and you're not worried about the rain. You're covered and protected. I don't want to, was her response. So both of us are like, we want you to retain your independence, which means taking your meds along with showering and eating. You're able to do it, but you haven't bathed. The medicines are still here. Silence. So we had doctor's appointments with multiple specialists, which would last for hours. I'm sure so many of you can relate to that. And his mom would say, I don't know what the problem is with you two. I only take up 5 minutes of your day. My hubby, Mom, you can't just lie in bed all day. Let's get out, check out the gardens, or visit the neighbors. Her response, don't tell me what to do. Hubby, you'll get too weak. You need to come to the table to eat. In a little while, was her response. Me, that means she's not getting out of bed. I know. I'm sorry. Sometimes I can be too bitchy. This went on and on. All I know is that we were drained of any reserves. So when things got tougher, we had no more to give. The overall fatigue and how do we work through this set in? How do I project confidence when I'm substituting, trying to manage an active elementary classroom? I probably didn't. My hubby's mom sank deeper and deeper, intentionally and unintentionally, dragging us down with her. Where did the days go when she was happy to be wheeled around IKEA, picking out cute furniture, eating Swedish meatballs that she never tasted before? What about the days going to Multnomah Falls? The joy of going to the plant nursery, picking them out by color and size. His mom loved the little leaves and the tiny blossoms. They went with her petite figure. Okay, that's the first part. We're going to end here and you'll get the second half with what you should learn in the next video. Thanks for being with us. You'll learn a lot, hopefully, with both of us, and see you soon.